Hey folks, welcome to the Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota. Corey Seidman and Jim Salisbury here with you every day during spring training. And it was a pretty big day for the Phillies today at Dunedin against the Blue Jays. It was Nick Castellanos' debut. Big day for Bryson Stott at the plate. Bless you.
Sorry.
We're not starting over. Forget about that. And Bryson Stott. Big day for Bryson Stott at the plate. Reached base a couple times and then hit a big 2-run homer. And you wrote about Bryson Stott kind of putting himself in this third base picture. We've talked about Johan Camargo. We've talked about even Nick Castellanos taking some ground balls at third base in reference to Alec Bohm's job. But Bryson Stott could be battling there too, huh?
He is battling there. Joe Girardi confirmed that this morning. You walk in the clubhouse this morning at 8 o'clock and the lineup is posted, and there's Bryson Stott playing third base for the first time this spring. Previously this spring, he'd only played shortstop, which is his natural position. In his career, minor league career, he's played a little bit of second base last year, a little bit of third base. If you can play shortstop, effectively, you should be able to play anywhere in the infield. And he's going to get a look at third base. It just tells you nobody's really locked it down yet, especially Alec Bohm, who's the guy they wanted to lock it down. He hasn't looked real sure of himself, I'd say, at the position. And he hasn't swung the bat probably as well as they'd like to see him. So the job is open. The fact that the job is still open 10 or 11 days before the opener just tells you that the guy they wanted to take it hasn't grabbed it. So Bryson Stott is, going to get a chance over there. He played well today, drew 2 walks. I mean, the kid has real good plate discipline. He's a very selective hitter. He had that going back to when he was in college, and drew a bases loaded walk in a big situation and hit a 2-run homer later in the game, was involved in one play on the field and made the play. Nice quick pair of hands or nice quick glove hand on a tag play. He looks very sure of himself, confident. It's his second big league camp. Had a good year last year in the minors, had a great run out in the Arizona Fall League, played 26 games, hit 300, drove in 31 runs in 26 games, reached base in every game out in Arizona. So he comes into camp with a lot of confidence, and it's showing. And he could end up being their everyday third baseman, at least to open the season, or opening day third baseman. He's in the contest. He's in the hunt. He's entered it late, but he just kind of looks like he belongs out there. So he's given them a solid option because they don't really seem to have another solid option. Camargo can play over there, but they like the value he brings at 4 infield positions, played first base today. It would not surprise me if they sent Bryson Stott out to manage his service time a little bit. It would not surprise me if he's at third base opening day, April 8th. So a real interesting storyline and drama unfolding here in the last 10 days of camp.
So 2 follow-up questions. One being, does this mean that Didi Gregorius has officially secured shortstop? Because, when the offseason began, we thought that it would be more of a competition between Gregorius and Stott for that position. And then the other question is, if Stott were to win the third base job, if he were to be the Phillies opening day third baseman, then what for Bohm? Would that mean AAA? Would that mean he sits on the bench? What could that mean for him?
Well, first question, yes, I believe, coming into camp, we thought it was going to be, Didi was going to be pushed by Stott. It appears Didi has, withstood that challenge. He's played well. He looks healthy. He looks in better shape. He's homered 2 days in a row. You owe him $15 million. To me, he's done nothing to tell you in this camp that he shouldn't be the starting guy at shortstop. So that looks like the way they're going to go there. With the second question, what do they do with Bohm? I don't know. I'm not privy to their inner thoughts. Your possibilities are sending him to AAA. I don't think you carry him on your bench and I don't think you carry Bryson Stott on your bench. Those are 2 guys who need playing time. They're not, it's not going to help their development to sit and watch. They need to be out there playing somewhere, either here or AAA. So with Bohm, if he's not your everyday guy, and he's going to play there tomorrow on Monday against the Orioles, so he, might be one good game away from a big boost of confidence that he could ride to the end here. I just don't know. So, AAA would be a possibility. Um, I have heard his name surrounded by legitimate trade buzz, trade buzz that I trust. I think they would be open to moving him in the right deal. I do not think they would give him away. So he makes the team as your regular. He goes to AAA, or he's used in a trade if something emerges late. But they're not going to give him away because he still has upside. He just kind of needs to put it together. So um, kind of that's that. It's you're probably going to see Bohm, Stott, or Camargo over there on opening day. But Stott has entered the sweepstakes, and he did nothing to hurt his chances on Sunday. He looks like a guy who it's his second big league camp. He looked a little nervous last year, struck out a bunch. He looks like he feels like he belongs now and that he believes he can play here. So, and that showed on Sunday. And we'll see if he can ride it to the end here.
Phillies offense has had a good few days here. You mentioned Didi hit a couple homers. Rhys Hoskins has a couple homers over the last 4 days. Mickey Moniak does. Bryce Harper hit 2 today. This was also the spring training debut with the Phillies of Nick Castellanos, who went 1 for 2 with the walk. How did Castellanos look both at the plate and in the field?
He looked fine. He's a good-looking athlete, man. He's kind of lean and strong, and he looks like he just plays with that little bit of sneer. I think the fans are going to really like him. I got a really nice ovation over here in Dunedin, which is just a few miles away from Clearwater. A lot of Phillies fans here. Struck out his first time, then he drew a walk, and then he had a base hit. He says he's a guy who can get it going real quick. There's no worries that'll be ready for opening day. And, I believe him. Like, one thing I kind of I'm picking up from listening to him, he's a reactor. He's not a thinker. And sometimes that's really good. They call baseball a thinking man's game. It's actually, you do need to have a good head on your shoulders to play it, but it's more of a reaction game. If you think too much, the ball goes through your legs. You need to react. And he's a reactor. He doesn't think a lot. And I think that's a good thing. Just finished writing a piece that we'll have up on the website. He had some really good quotes in it. He was Harper batted third, he batted fourth, and he was saying, he watched Harper hit those 2 home runs. He said, I had the best seat in the house to watch Bryce Harper go, hit 2 home runs my first 2 times on deck. He says, I hope I get to see that 50 times this year. And then he just kind of, was talking about the offense in general. And he said, we have a chance to be really, really good here. So I'm not a guy who guarantees anything, but, we got some pieces here. He says, I've been on teams that have had World Series potential in the past, and we haven't gotten it done. So, the onus is on us. The responsibility is on us to go out and make it happen. But he believes the Phillies have a chance to be, quote, very, very good. At least on the offensive end, I certainly agree with him. I think they still have, with him, they have defensive shortcomings that they need to tighten up, and they need to stay healthy in that pitching staff. They need to. The bullpen the last 2 years has killed them. That needs to be better, and they need health out of that starting rotation. It's good, but it's not deep. But it was, he was. It was interesting to hear him talk after the game. He's got real high hopes, as everybody does, for this offense.
The Phillies lineup on Sunday, it was Segura 2, Harper 3, Castellanos 4, Real Muto 5, Hoskins 6. What do you think of that? You think that's what it's going to end up being, the 2 through 6 there? I mean, the
I don't.
missing piece there was Schwarber, who was not
Yeah,
in. Didi led off today.
yeah. He was.
Not that- yeah.
He was trying to get Didi some at bats, get him up higher, so we have a chance to get more at bats, see more pitches. Yeah, I think that has a chance to be very close to it. Maybe with Schwarber up top. I think there might be times you see Real Muto at the 2 hole. He likes it up there. Um, he hits lefties pretty good, um, which might be good between Schwarber and Harper on occasion, especially if you bring in lefty late in the game. But I think that that's pretty close to it. And you look at Real Muto and Hoskins hitting down a little bit. I think both those guys could really benefit from the additions they've made. Just take some pressure off them. JT had a really nice base hit today up the middle, stayed right on it, drove it hard up the middle. Hoskins has hit a couple bombs the last few days. But in terms of the lineup, I think we see some. Segura 2, yeah, I think we see that a whole bunch. Harper 3, Castellanos Um, maybe Hoskins and Real Muto might be flip flopped. As you know, 'cause what Real Muto today was fifth, Hoskins was sixth. I can see that maybe being flip flopped. But regardless, this is a lineup that has a chance to really make pitchers pay. There's some selectivity in there. There's some slug in there. It's a good combination.
Yeah, and as you said, Hoskins and Real Muto can be the fourth and fifth offensive pieces really in this lineup. When you look at the additions the Phillies have made, or third and fourth, you look at Harper and Castellanos and Schwarber. Uh, JT Real Muto has a chance to really do some damage out of that 5-6 spot. He's going to come up with a ton of runners on base. You
This
remember
is Hoskins.
yeah, yeah, and you remember how hot Real Muto was to start last season. I mean, this is a guy who tends to always end up around the same place, like that 280 range with decent pop. But when he's hot, he's very hot. A little earlier, you talked about the bullpen, and we've talked a ton about the bullpen this offseason. It's kind of flown under the radar here over the last week, 2 weeks, because there's been all this attention on the Phillies offense. Jurice Familia, Brad Hand are the big newcomers. Corey Knable also the closer. The last appearance for Familia and Hand, they were both scored upon. What have you thought of them so far?
Um, as long as they're healthy. I mean, they have track record. Um, Hand is coming off control issue. He struggled last year. Familia is coming off control issues, but they got track record. Um, to me, I don't base a ton on what's happening down here just because they're veterans. I don't think there's any urgency to go out there and make a team. Um, and the other thing is, relievers are up one year, down the next, up and down. They can be so mercurial. So they really needed, Brad Hand to show that last year was a fluke on the downside, and they need Familia to throw strikes. Canables looked very good, newcomer. Sir Anthony Dominguez has looked very good. We haven't seen Alvarado. He's got a stiff neck. He's had a little neck issue that they've had to kind of ramp him down and kind of shut him down for 2 or 3 days. I think today was day 3. He had not been in a game, but he had been facing hitters. A little bit like Wheeler, they were kind of after last year's workload trying to go a little bit easy with him, but he was facing hitters, but they had to shut that down. So, over the last 10 days here, we're going to see they need to see him on the mound. They need to see more of Connor Brogdon and Coonrod and getting that thing going. But the bullpen, um, I don't know what it's going to be. All I know is they have power down there. They have pieces. They have some track record. They have a really exciting potential X factor in Sir Anthony Dominguez, and they have what looks like a guy who's going to be a competent major league closer, or at least a guy who has been a competent major league closer in the past. If they can build a bridge to him with some of those veteran guys, then maybe they'll have a chance to take what was a weakness the last 2 years, and even if it's not a strength, it needs to kind of be like neutral. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When do you think that we're going to gain clarity on whether rosters are going to be 26 men or expanded? Because we're nearing that point of spring training where you'd figure there are a lot of players who have like outs in their contract where if they're not going to make an opening day roster, they could explore other opportunities. That might be different this offseason because of the lockout. Not sure exactly what happened with those like dates in contracts, but
Yeah,
when do you think we're going to know about that?
it's got to be soon, right? I mean, we're entering the final full week of spring training, and we're in it starting today, Sunday. I would think in the next few days. But the general consensus is, rosters will be expanded by at least a couple of bodies, and I would expect the Phillies would go pitchers, I should say, there because they're going to watch Wheeler out of the gate. They're going to watch Suarez out of the gate. They're going to watch Eflin probably out of the gate. Um, you know, if those guys indeed do open the season on time, and I get the vibe that there's a good chance they will. So I think they'll add a couple extra pitches. Maybe the next few days, hopefully we'll hear that.
All right. Well, it's the Phillies and the Orioles on Monday. The game is on NBC Sports Philadelphia. It's televised, so you can check it out there. Christopher Sanchez is on the mound. Jim, are you expecting a lot of these guys who were in the lineup Sunday to be in it again Monday? Like, you think Harper's going to play Monday in front of the home crowd?
Um, you know, I wouldn't doubt it. Maybe Harper getting a little DH action. I don't know. They got to start, picking up the frequency. because we're getting to that time where he's got to see guys. But I don't know what his plans are tomorrow. I would imagine we'll see Schwarber because he didn't play today. We're gonna, I believe, see Stott at shortstop, and I believe we will see Bohm at third base. Hoskins DH today, but he actually played Saturday. But generally, home games they try to get there's some of their big guys in there, and then there's a road game the next day. So I think there's probably a chance that the viewers on TV will see some of the big guns, just because we're entering the final full week and it's almost go time.
That game is on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus. That's going to do it for this Phillies Talk podcast. I'm Corey. He's Jim. Thanks a lot for listening.